was the original proposed detention. This is changing. We've got an alternative site that we're working on with flood control. And then in terms of schematic layouts, we talked about the, there we go. Here is kind of the intersection that's being proposed. There will be sidewalks on Bevis and on 20th Street. And then in terms of intersection improvement for safety and crossing, we're proposing a roundabout section at TC Jester. We'll have the crossings on all sides. We're looking at cul-de-sacing 18th Street for safety reasons, and then realigning 19th Street to 20th Street a little bit more. And so this will allow for that pedestrian movement, a little bit more safer intersection crossing, as well as kind of the turning movements here at 19th Street.
Would you mind going back to the first drainage pathways?
Sure. There we go.
Perfect. Yeah, so the question that I had about 23rd Street specifically is I know that there's under road infrastructure already there for stormwater runoff on 23rd Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my question was because 23rd Street, when it gets inundated from flooding from Turkey Gully, when Turkey Gully spills its banks, it
Mm-hmm.
floods on 23rd. 23rd is a lower elevation around the neighborhood. So 23rd ends up getting backed up pretty bad too. So my question was, is this new infrastructure a dedicated line taking water from Turkey Gully and diverting it through its own line, or is this somehow merging with the current drainage that's already at 23rd?
So these are going to be new improved systems on 25th, 24th. So above 23rd, they'll divert all of that flow. So if any of that water is entering from Turkey Gully on the 23rd, it's going to relieve that. Then
Okay.
on Bevis Street, we've got a large box system that's being in there, a 6x4, and then an 8x6. So it should alleviate a lot of that ponding that's happening there.
Okay, great. And that's going to be under the road, or is that just widening the open ditch
No.
system currently in place?
So on Bevis, it's going to be under the road. For the east-west streets, because it's just a small segment, we're going to improve the ditch cross sections and rehab those, because we can't do a full reconstruction of that quarter block or whatever that section of the street is.
Right.
So the streets will be improved with open ditch sections, and then Bevis will be a complete curb and gutter improvement. And I wanted to share the benefited parcel map with you. So this is the reduced flooding that you're going to be seeing at the 2-year level of service for 23rd Street and Turkey Gully. And on a 10-year system, again, a little less than before. So again, this is just showing the reduction.
Sorry, I'm reading your legend here. The blue is.
So the blue
what is
is
10-year? What's the difference between 10-year proposed and 10-year existing? Sorry, my engineering background
so
is nil.
The red is all the existing that's being removed, and the blue is the ponding that's still going to be there. So everything in green is being removed. So there's still a little bit on 23rd, but the depth is going to be different, and we can get into those details from our consultant, provide what reduction in depth there will be on 23rd Street.
Okay, so it looks like 24th up through 25th still might have issues.
Still might have a little bit of issues, but again, in a 2-year storm, so the frequent storms that you guys are seeing right now, because that's where really a lot of the issues that you have on these 2-year level service storms, we're reducing that a lot. And so here's what we're seeing.
These are storm probabilities. Okay.
Storm probability,
okay.
yeah. So on the 2-year, there's a huge reduction. On the 10-year, we still have a reduction, but it's a little less than that. And so we can't get the 100-year level of service over here. We are looking at a 10-year.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks for the explanation. I appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate it. Any other questions?
Paresh, you were showing towards 18th Street, towards the intersection of 18th Street. So everything is RBC down to the intersection of TC Jester and 18th Street. Why is it correct that I saw a proposed roadside ditch through and around TC Jester? What exactly is that?
A roadside ditch.
If you share your screen, there's a green stretch under, I guess it's under TC Jester.
No, that's the bridge. So let's see. Everything here's
That's the bridge,
that's probably
okay.
labeled wrong. So this is the bridge intersection, and so I think everything is underneath there. So there's a storm sewer that leads off of 20th Street into the bayou. This is probably incorrectly labeled.
Any, yeah.
It's, yeah,
So any idea where
the
it would
green
come
that's
out?
showing is roadside ditches, or these sections here. This is not roadside ditch.
Okay.
And that proposed attention you said is probably changing. I know there was the traffic circle. I don't remember if the traffic circle scenario was different for the detention versus this.
Right, and so the detention location is changing. The traffic circle is still there. Let me pull that image over here. There we go. And so this isn't detention. This was just kind of swales that the consultant had put together. So we're not showing the detention as part of this intersection layout here. We showed that as a separate layout.
You mentioned that the detention's location that's at the north of that traffic circle is still under consideration, or
It's not.
you've
So
abandoned that and you've looked at some other spots?
flood control was looking at that, and this location just wasn't feasible because of the tract of land. And so they've got additional locations down here. There's a detention basin already in this parcel, and
Yep.
there's a section
Currently
over here.
existing,
So
yeah, down there.
yeah, so they're looking at tying those two together and expanding it. We just haven't finalized that plan yet.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on kind of the improvements of the intersection and the detention? Kevin?
Hi, my name is Kevin Strickland. I live not too far from that. I'm with Super Neighborhood 15,
Okay.
and Turkey Gully goes right at the end of my street. But my questions are about the roundabout. Two questions. If this is a drainage project, why is the roundabout construction included?
So this was a request from our traffic operations group. When we started doing this original project, we looked at doing the drainage conveyance. Traffic group, and I guess a lot of the neighborhood complaints were the safety of the intersection and making the site better. So while we're doing the drainage improvements, we really want to address some of the traffic concerns as well. And so we wanted to make sure we could address both of them in this project itself instead of coming back to it.
That leads to my second question. Thank you. I appreciate that you heard the community when we were talking about safety. When I hear that, I always think of safety for people, because if you try to walk through that area or bike, it's a nightmare. So looking at the roundabout, I see that it's going to be 2 lanes. How are people prioritized to be able to cross safely, either by foot or on bike across the roundabout?
So we've got the pedestrian crossings before the roundabout along the whole section here. And so these are the areas, in terms of bike, they're gonna have to walk, they're gonna have to cross through these various areas. I don't think this is gonna be designed to move bikes around that area.
Yeah, I'm not talking about bikes going through the roundabout like a bike lane or anything. I'm talking about people, whether they're on foot, rollerblades, with a stroller, with dogs, being
Mhm.
able to get across the roundabout. So when I heard you say crosswalks, that's just paint. Again, how does that mean that cars will yield to people in the crosswalk?
Okay, so in terms of like the yield, so there'll be the yield signs again as you get into the roundabout. And I think I'll have to look into that a little bit more. There are sidewalks. One, there's not an existing sidewalk on 20th Street that's continuous, or if there is, it's substandard. So that's the improvement there for kind of the pedestrian mobility. In terms of crossing, this is where the traffic engineer has located the safest crossing before the roundabout.
So that's still requiring people to cross 2 lanes of traffic where cars are merging with each other. So again, I'm missing how cars are going to yield to people in the crosswalk if they're looking to merge with each other to either enter the roundabout or exit the roundabout.
So I'm trying to look at it. So it's 2 lanes here. There's not really a merge. It's 2 lanes entering. It's 2 lanes exiting here, 1 lane entering. And again, on this end here, it's 1 lane entering, 2 lanes exiting. So we're keeping the same traffic flow pattern on 18/20th Street, in and out. I think we'll have to go into that in detail and really zoom into this one in our separate meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
'cause-
so last thing, because I maybe I misheard or I'm not looking at the map right. Did I hear you say 1 lane to enter the roundabout?
Correct. So if we look at 20th Street, it's going to be 1 lane to enter into the roundabout from east to west. And then it'll flare out as 2 lanes over here. On 18th Street, right now they've got 2 lanes coming in and then 2 lanes going out.
So people will only have to cross 1 lane.
1 lane till they get to the median safe haven all across. And then they'll have a pedestrian refuge in between the roadway
Okay.
across.
Great.
And
So
that's the way to make it safe, is to, again, if you can't get all the way through, at least there's a safe haven in the middle.
Got it. So there are 2 lane roundabouts going elsewhere. So that's why
Yeah.
it's a big difference whether it's 1 or lane. Okay. I will
Yeah.
tell you, I'm on board with 1 lane roundabout. I'm
Okay.
not on board with 2. Thank you very much.
Okay, that's fine. And again, as we get into the design, this is just the preliminary studies. We get into design, we can tighten up the roundabout a little bit more. We do want to make sure we accommodate for Metro bus that's running through here as well, so they can make that turn as well. So the radiuses and the width of the lanes need to be sufficient for Metro going through this intersection.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
No problem.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. That helps
Okay.
a lot.
Not a problem. And I've started a separate email. I want to make sure I capture everybody from the super neighborhood that was interested in Turkey Gully, to make sure I can share some of these exhibits and go over this with our traffic group as well. I do have Kurt's email, Gregory's email, Allison. And I have Kevin, I have your email in here as well. So if there's additional people that you guys have, then we can have them together in the meeting.
Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah, that should get us started pretty well.
Okay.
We'll see if there's anybody else.
Yeah, I think there was a few other, there was a few other folks that requested information, so I'll have to pull their information from the recording and make sure we get their emails in here.
Yeah, I can't pull up the chat. Otherwise, I would tell you. It's not pulling up for me. But
Yeah,
there's a couple. So,
I know
yeah.
Alice was. I have Allison's email on here already.
Perfect.
So, and I think there was a Patrick Nail on as well.
Yeah, that sounds nice. So cool.
Okay. I may have captured everybody. So.
Excellent.
All right, appreciate it. Any other questions on this one? Kevin, your hand's still up. Did we answer everything?
You did. I've spent the last 30 seconds trying to figure out how to lower my hand. Please do it for me and
I could
save
do
me
that.
from misery. Thank you very
I got
much.
it. Not a problem. Okay. Great. I appreciate everybody's time. Again, I will set up a separate meeting for the neighborhood group to go over Turkey Gully specifically. And then again, this is moving into our capital projects team for design. And then by then we'll have a better idea in terms of the detention location and a time frame for moving this towards construction.
Okay. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you very
you
much,
all.
Paresh, for your time. Appreciate
All
all
right.
the info.
Okay.
And I've also posted my email address in the chat. I'm not sure if you're including everybody in the next meeting, but I just posted it there just in case.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Have a great afternoon.